Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I am Tulio, a final year medical student at Pirogov Russian National Medical Research University. Yes, if you're new here, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a video. And if you're a returning subscriber here, most welcome back, and thank you so much for always supporting this channel. May God bless you abundantly. So today I'll be talking about frequently asked questions about medical school here in Russia. And some of the questions I got are from my personal friends, some of them just from the interactions here on YouTube. Yeah, I'm privileged to answer them, and of course my answers are not the final say. Just go ahead also and find your own research on this particular question so you can find more knowledge. I mean, there are very many YouTube channels on YouTube here that also talk about medical school in Russia here, so I believe my perspective will not be the final one for your analysis or for the things that you're considering before coming here in Russia. So yeah, let us get to the first question. Is a medical degree from Russia valid? Can I practice back home? Well, for this question, the answer is yes. And I love the fact that this question was actually there, because before considering studying a course, especially as big as medicine outside, you want to first make sure that the degree is actually valid, because you don't want to come here and waste your time and then go back to your country and you're told that, okay, we do not recognize this degree. So my answer is yes. Russian medical schools are recognized by international bodies like the World Health Organization. It is also recognized by the World Directory of Medical Schools. And to be sure that the university you're coming to is actually recognized by these bodies, you can just go on Google and search World Directory of Medical Schools, and then put the city you're in, the city that you want to study in, and then they'll bring you the options. I mean, they'll bring you the fact that, okay, this is recognized or it's not recognized. And this is actually very important it's a very important thing to do. So yeah, because I have an experience where I actually applied to a university, I think in Chechen, and then afterwards, after my father checking, he found out that, okay, this university was not recognized by the World Health Organization, which of course just made us change the application form and totally eventually apply to Pirogov. So yes. And then the next part was, can I practice back home? The answer is yes, you can practice back home. And just like any other country, of course, you're not going to go straight away and practice back home. You still need to go through different preparations. For example, you need to do the license exams for your country. So for US, it's US EMILI, for UK, it's UK EMILI or PLAB, and then for India is next. So you have to make sure that you actually prepare for these exams in order to do them. Yeah, so they're just license exams for your country. And of course, I believe there are different preparations that you have to go through in order to pass these exams. So it's just like, it's a normal phase in the medical field. It's a normal thing to do. So it's not because, I mean, you studied in Russia, that's why you have to do these exams, because maybe they're undermining the degree. No, it's just a necessary step that is taken by every country, just to make sure that the doctors they're allowing into the country are actually valid and went through the course very well. So I hope I have answered that question. Next question is, do I need to learn Russian? Is the program in English? Well, you come into Russia, of course the programs are in Russian. However, the universities that actually offer the course, the medical course in English. Yeah, for example, Pirogov University, my university, offers in English. Sechenov also offers in English. Sudan also offers in English. The issue with the English course was the fact that most of them are private, meaning the government was not allowing students to study on scholarship and yet pick the language for themselves, like for example English. It was not there before. However, in my year, that is when the government allowed that, okay, yeah, international students can actually study in English. And luckily enough, I ended up studying in English for the past 3 years. So I did the language course, and then afterwards I went ahead and did first year, second year and third year in English. However, when it reached to fourth year, fifth year and sixth year, and the final year right now, we're doing it in Russian. That is because they just want to ease our clinical years. They want to make sure that we are communicating well with the patients and smoothly we're understanding each other, and that is I think that is the reason for making sure that you study 3 years in English and 3 years in Russian. So yes, if you're considering studying in Russia and in English, you should have it at the back of your mind that yeah, you're going to begin in English and then end in Russian. However, there are actually universities that take throughout, like 100% English and 100% Russian. So it depends on what you want. And I would advise, actually, if you start in Russian, please finish in Russian. And if you start in English, I think it's also proper to finish in English. However, it would still make it hard for you to communicate with patients because you don't know the language. Now, the advantage of starting in English is that you're also taught Russian as a subject, and therefore that gives actually a chance to know a bit of the language even as you prepare for your clinical years. So yes, it's doable. Yes, so just choose what you want, choose what is easier for you and what you can do. The next question is the real cost of medicine. I am going to talk about this one in phases, in that I'll speak about the international cost and then the domestic cost. Relating it internationally, I could say that medical school in Russia is almost the cheapest all over the world. I don't know if I should say all over the world because I have not checked the other European countries. However, I know UK is very expensive. I know the US is very expensive. I know India is actually expensive. And even in Africa, Aga Khan University in Kenya is very expensive as well. Makerere, I think, is expensive if you're not on scholarship. So yeah, compared to the other international countries, China, all those countries, I would say medicine in Russia is relatively cheap. Yes, and now speaking about it domestically, now the cost depends on the city that you want. Yeah, do you want to study in Moscow? Do you want to study in other smaller cities? Now, this one now comes in that the bigger the city, the higher the cost. Yeah, if you have a lesser budget, it's always advisable to go to a smaller city because the universities there are very affordable. Now, coming to the actual course, of course, medical school ranges, the fees, the tuition ranges from 3,500 to as far as 12,000 and above. So it can be less than 3,500 and it can be more than 12,500. So it just depends on the city. It depends also on the language that you want to use, you want to learn with. Yeah, because when you go for English language, it means that the course is going to be more expensive, and if you go for the Russian language, it means that it's going to be a bit cheaper. So yeah, the city and the language matter a lot. However, on the details about this particular question, you can check my video where I did apply to any Russian university now. I talked about the course there, I talked about the universities and what to consider. So yeah, that is it for that question. What is the admission process like? Is it competitive? Yes, for the scholarship, actually, the competition is usually with your own countries. But as long as you're selected, for my country, we did not have any interview. Yeah, we just go straight away to the university. However, when it comes to getting to the universities on private levels, there's usually an entry exam that you're given. I don't know if my university is still doing that, but during my time, they actually did that. We had an entry exam to do before we entered, and the pass mark was 50%, and it was actually a bit hard to get that. However, if you study well for those exams, they're actually very doable. Very, very doable. So mostly how to get in, you just need to apply to the university, and during application you need your certificate, you need your passport that is very valid. It shouldn't be like expiring in 2 months or 3 months and you're applying. It should be very valid, and then you need your money in case you're applying to study on private. You need the money as well. So those are the three most things. What is the student life like? Is it safe? Actually, Russia is one of the safest places I have been to. Yes, I have been to most of the East African countries. I've been to Uganda, South Sudan, Kenya, and comparing Russia to those countries, I could say that Russia is very, very safe. It is safe to the extent that you can actually drop your things somewhere and then go back the next day and you'll find it. Imagine. Yes, or if you don't find it, or you forgot totally where you left it, you find someone calling you to give you back your property. So that is how safe it is. Yeah, however, I'm not downplaying the fact that you need to still be careful. You need to avoid some places. You need to be very careful about the friends that you're making. So those things are very important to take note of. However, I could say that generally the country is very safe. Yeah, regardless of the wars and the rumors that you're hearing around about Russia and all those things, I don't think most of them are true actually. They are false. Yes, of course, there is a war going on, Ukraine, Russia, but most of the effects are not really like the security is not really affected in that way. Of course, the war is in Ukraine, it's not in Moscow, I mean it's not in Russia, but of course there are other cities that are near Ukraine that are affected, and we also are affected in terms of sanctions, in terms of other small things, but not necessarily security wise. What is the student life like? For the student life, I could say that it is what you make it. Yeah, it is what you make it. It depends on your way of life. If you're a Christian, of course, your student life is going to be the Christian type, the fellowship type, the church type, let's go to the restaurant, let's celebrate birthdays here, and this and this and this. And if you're the club one, you're going to be, let us go here, let us go here. So it really depends on your way of life generally. However, of course, we've met people from different places here. I have met people from Egypt, I've met people from South Africa, from Nigeria, from Uganda. So it's like north, south, west, east, almost the whole of Africa. I've met people from Asia, China, Bangladesh. I've met people from India. I've met people from America, UK. So Russia is kind of a place that brings people all together, and that way actually you just get to mingle. If you're the social type, you'll actually enjoy it in that you can go during independence, so maybe a friend's independence, and see how a friend's embassy, and see how they celebrate their independence there, learn about their culture, learn about their victory, how they attain that. That actually just makes the student life very interesting. I actually have friends that I usually take for my independence so they can see how the South Sudanese dance, they can see how we speak, how we eat, how we cook, how we just interact, and that in itself just makes the student life very interesting. And of course there are the Russians as well. You can try to visit the Russian museums and try to learn their culture, learn their history, things like that. Question number 6 is, what about internships, residence after graduation? In other words, what happens after? So there are usually 3 options. The first option is go back home and just practice your medicine quietly, just a normal life and all those things. The next option is staying back here and pursuing a residence program, specialize in whatever thing that you want to specialize in. The third option is just going to any other European country or America or China or just choose another country that you want to go to. So those are all options there. I've given you 3 options. What do I want to do exactly after here? We'll find out, we'll see where the Lord is taking us. For now, we're not so certain and we're praying about it. So those are 3 options. Go back home, practice here, or practice in any other European country. And then question number 7, what is the biggest challenge? What is the biggest challenge? I think apart from the weather itself, I can't say it kept on being the biggest challenge for me, because there's a way to overcome it. You just have to wear something warmer, something hotter, and things like that. However, I can also say that the fact that I've always had to renew my visa was actually a very big challenge for me. However, of course, the country has solved that, in that you can now apply for temporary residence that will take you throughout your study years and don't have to renew every year. That in itself was just a lot for me. And then the fact that I always have to move with my passport. The police is always here and here. Not always, but once in a while you're just falling into trouble. Maybe you've forgotten to pay for bus, and then you're implicated for that, or you just forgot your passport and the police has stopped you. They're asking for your passport and you don't have the passport. So all those things kind of made me feel like, oh my God. And trust me, there are days I have cried and told myself, why am I even in this country? Like, who brought me here? So those things are all there, and they all come from disobedience, honestly. You're in a foreign country, of course you know that you're supposed to be moving with your documents in case the police asks and you don't have them, and then at the end of the day you're crying like, sis, calm down. So you need to always move with your passport. You need to always be up to date with them. Make sure that you're always checking the date of the expiry of your visa in order to renew. So that in itself was just a bit for me. I think I've completed all of the questions, and in case there is any question I have missed, please feel free to put in the comment section and I will be glad to answer them. Yes, I am actually very available, very available. You can check some of my comments. Their comments I've replied even at 3 a.m. because someone was asking me a question. So guys, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer them. And in case there is something I have forgotten, feel free to also drop them in the comment section. And then if there is something you want to add, you can go ahead and add. Yes, and that is it for this video, guys. If there is anything you want me to talk about, please just let me know through my Instagram handle, Tina Tulio. Yeah, Tina_Tulio, and then we'll take it from there. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please share with your friends and families. Let us grow this channel together. And yes, guys, congratulations on 400. Yes, I know I've not been consistent like that in the past years, and that was because I was struggling to survive in my university. I was struggling to make sure that medicine doesn't kill me. And now that we've crossed over most of the hardest years and the hardest times, where we are right now, we feel like, okay, we have some spare time and we can give YouTube more of the energy and strength, and that's why we're doing this. And yes, when growth appears like that, subscribers are coming in, it means that we're not playing around. So yeah, I give God all the glory and I bless him for that. And I thank you, my subscribers, every one of you. Like every time someone subscribes, I tell the Lord, thank you for this person. So yes, I'm praying for you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me. God bless you abundantly. And yes, see you in my next video. Bye.